Now, another one of his favorite games, and we're going to switch to it right now, was indeed Mrs. Pac-Man. And yes, that will be the game. That's the game right there. We'll go to the M's real quick, and we're going to look for it. Yes, Mrs. Pac-Man. Alright now. Yes, made by Williams Entertainment, which I believe, besides the original arcade Pac-Man, this has to be the best version. It had more stages than the Sega Genesis version. At least one extra stage. But as you can see from here, you can actually change your options. Now, I pretty much like the Pac Booster because it actually speeds up Mrs. Pac-Man. And they actually have two players simultaneous, which is another good part about this game. And I pretty much like it. And the crazy difficulty, to me, is the original way Pac-Man should be played. Basically saying that was the way it was set up in the arcades, as going fast, not like this slow crap they have out here these days. Also in this version, as you'll notice, my grandfather liked it, they had a maze selection option. Yeah, basically you have arcade, which is your standard 32 level arcade board. Then you have mini, which will actually display the levels that you're on, but pretty much shorten out the size of the map. Then you have big, which is the really long levels. You can rack up points with that. And you have strange. Now, strange is pretty unique. You have to have a really open mind to play strange, for the simple fact that beyond the banana, there are icons you can grab, and the amount of mazes they have is just astonishing. At least the designs and types. On top of that, it makes it more and more difficult as you go on, because you'll play it at random. You'll also notice that, okay, let me go back to the beginning here. You'll also notice that whenever you pass up stage 7, you automatically get 4 continues. 4 if you count 0 as a continue. That means you're getting 4 chances to actually beat this game, something not known on a Pac-Man game, period, until later games like Pac-Man 20th Anniversary or something, some crap like that. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and we're going to play it on arcade. We're going to play it the way it was meant to be played. I'm going to play it on hard mode. I'm going to turn the joystick on. Let's do this. Come here, bitches. Let's do this shit. Damn it. I had to be the greedy. I had to be the greedy one. Well, it happens to everybody. Playing this game with a PlayStation joystick isn't really all that half bad. Not as bad as it seems. I mean, it makes playing this game a lot easier than breaking your thumb on a joystick. A whole lot easier. And I'd rather play it like this, because it just has a more natural feel. A way more natural feel to it. Yeah, and as you can see at the top, they always tell you what difficulty you're playing on and what other options you have available to you. Now, there's something funny about simultaneous play on this game. If Pac-Man gets the power pellet, Miss Pac-Man can't eat anything because she'll be sad that she's not able to eat it. She didn't get it first. It only works for one Pac-Man at a time, which I kind of find really weird. And if you ask me, this game defined camping. I'm so serious. This game has seriously defined and started what camping is all about. Basically, sitting there and waiting for the ghosts to come to you so you can go up there and eat their ass straight up. And I don't mean that in a really, really explicit way. I'm talking about, kick their ass. This is just a real big favorite of mine. Again, to me, one of the better games out of the Pac-Man series because of how many options you can go with. And to me, it was just more free roaming because of that strange mode. And I think I'm going to go ahead and reset it and just show you how strange this game is. So let me go ahead and reset it. And you're about to see exactly how strange this game is. Just how strange it is. Again, we're going to go Pack Booster on. We're going to play the game on hard, but yet we're going to play it on strange. Now, for those of you who have not seen this before, prepare yourself for ultimate action under Pac-Man circumstances. Seeing Pac-Man in a totally different light, and if you probably guessed it, it paved the way for more stranger mazes in later Pac-Man games as the years went on past this one. So let's go. As you can see, the layout of the map itself is weird, and this is no exception. Now, on strange, it may fool you a little bit because some of the designs on some of the levels may seem like it came from other levels, and strange is basically all about that. Also on strange is going to be a bit harder to hit the corners. That makes it slightly difficult. See, even for me, I'm having a hard time trying to turn, but it's really not a big deal. I can still handle it. Also, I wanted to mention, whenever you get to stage 20, well, really, level 17 is the enemy of Miss Pac-Man. There's a real good reason why I say that. Because power pellets simply do not work. They do not work there at all. Whenever you eat them, the ghost will only simply U-turn and come right after you. It's a harsh, sad, yet true reality, and unreal and unlike any other Pac-Man game you've probably experienced or played, because you've never seen this happen. But yes, in fact, this does happen. Ding, 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 bitch. That's what we talking about. Once you pass up level 17, you'll notice that the power-ups will start to act in reverse. As you notice that the more you get them on each stage, the shorter their time length. And basically it's going to do that again for this game. And as you see, it was kind of weird right there. Basically, I like getting the power pellets myself just to beat the stage faster. Because to me, it honestly doesn't matter how I beat this game. I'm going to beat it anyway. So it really wouldn't matter to me. But what I could commend about strange difficulty is the simple fact that they have some really good designs. And I'm not even going to joke with you. That basically has, it really does bring a challenge to this game, because you'll actually see the mazes unlike any other designs you've seen so far, and you'll actually get a kick out of them because the ghosts sometimes will get trapped in some of the designs or some of the areas, and it really is a brain teaser at some points. Now, there was one area on Pac-Man, if I remember correctly, that the ghosts will never get you. It doesn't matter what you do, ghosts will never get you, no matter what. My grandfather discovered this trick back in the arcades so long ago. I'm not too sure if it applies to Miss Pac-Man, at least the console version, but I know it happened in the arcade version. It was on one of the stages, I believe it was the orange stage, or stage 3 if you want to call it, where he would sit in a corner, basically like this, and the ghost would never get him. Now, from what he's told me, he said a kid that was playing in the arcades during the time this was out discovered this trick by accident. And to me, I have to admit, that must be the sweetest accident anybody's ever found, including myself. I didn't believe him until I seen it for myself. And when I seen it for myself, I was like, well, I'll be damned. Now, there's some kind of glitch that also goes on with the ghost. I'm pretty sure all of you out there maybe know it by now. But there's a little thing that happens with the ghost that you can sometimes, if you cut the corner enough, or basically with the frame, the death detection frame will not kick in and you'll actually go through the ghost. This only happens on select stages. Okay, now here we go. Now if you notice, you get two. Okay, now if you noticed, I'll scroll up and down here. You get 2 extra power pellets, so you got 6 to play with. And you notice that the maze doesn't really look so much like a maze. It's so wide open. And the best thing here will be to cut analog off, because trying to go analog, Miss Pac-Man's gonna do this. She's gonna be eating too many of them power pellets, and it's gonna be like crack to her, and it's gonna be extremely hard trying to get to the power pellets like this. So I'm gonna stop, turn off analog, and just play normally. I think my best bet would be to try and get out the stage. I think now will be a time for me to get out of here. Oh crap. Well, at least I beat most of the stage, so it's really not a big deal. But at least they give you the option to start anywhere between stages 1 and 7. If you want to just go ahead and bypass the majority of this game, and you want to just go up for a challenge, then put this game on crazy mode and play on stage 7, which is right here. Yeah, the banana stage. Banana? Yeah, I know. I'm weird. But yeah, as I've said before, this is basically, even though I'm playing around, this is basically a tribute to this awesome game. As old school as it is, and I'm old school at heart, I don't care what people says, Pac-Man or Miss Pac-Man or any incarnation thereof, as long as it keeps the style of the original, will always be a household favorite to me. Basically, because it is just that. Now, I'm playing strange mode for a reason, because I want you to see why my grandfather considered this as a challenge. Now, take a good look. Notice that the outline of the stage has changed. Take good notice. Now, as far as fruit goes, well, you'll just see. Now, you see a little milk carton. That's worth 3,000 points. Now, you would have thought that that could have came before the banana, because the banana gives you a, brand spanking good 5,000 points, but that's just not the case. And it seems like this is one of the more shorter stages in the... Well, I died. Well, that's alright. At about 50,000, I'll get another extra life. So it's not really a big deal. That's why I'm going to go for it. Well, either way it go, I've passed up stage 7. So if I happen to game over here, at least I'll get 4 fresh, fresh new continues. Now, if I'm correct, the ice cream should be on this stage. If I'm correct. Yep, here comes the ice cream. And I waited too soon. That's alright. Now, as you notice, starting at level 9, you can start in any order of the levels that you've died on up until... You can start in any of the levels that you passed all the way up until the level you died on, if you should happen to pass stage 7. That means if you feel like you want to go back to that stage and bring yourself a bigger challenge, then go right on ahead and do that if you want to. You can also go ahead and change 2 players alternating or competitive or cooperative. Competitive is just about who beats, who's going to complete the stage with the most points first. Alternating, is basically taking turns. And cooperative is 2 people or 2 characters beating the stage at the same time. I mean, it's really not as fun like talking about it, but it's just better if you play by yourself. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to up the ante here. And this is going to be the last thing I do for the night because I am getting tired, but I'm still making this a tribute to my grandfather. So let's play this game on crazy, baby. This music never gets old to me. I'm an old schooler at heart, so please forgive me. It may not seem like a lot, like it's really going fast like it should. But how could you go fast and eat at the same time? I mean, you got to ask yourself that question. Now, again, they could have put this, right behind each other, but they didn't. And I'm not even going to try and bother wasting my time. And yes, here comes Junior. As you can see, way better differences than the actual arcade version. But it presents a better challenge. And to those of you who hate Miss Pac-Man, I do not really give a crap. Because of the simple fact that this is my tribute to my grandfather. And this is the game that he and his wife love. They love to actually sit there and play my game system just so they can play Miss Pac-Man. They can play it on hours upon end and just really not care. Because it was their game. And every time they wanted to play, I didn't care how long they played. I just loved to see them smile. See them smile knowing that Miss Pac-Man is one of the games they grew up with. My grandmother was a gamer at heart, and I see now that my grandfather was a gamer at heart, regardless of how old school or how childish this may seem to some people in this day and age. As they say, old things are harder to get rid of, and old habits never die, and this is one game that I'm going to continually stay a habit on. Even if I'm doing everything on purpose, this is just my tribute to him, because I just want to at least show you guys, how much I care for my grandfather. So, at least with all this saying, I really do appreciate your time looking at my video. This also counted as a review for the series, even though it's just of the 2 versions of Pac-Man nobody bothered to even check out or look at. But I look at it like this. It means a lot to me to know that, these 2 games, Mrs. Pac-Man for the SNES and Pac-Attack for the SNES, are 2 games that my grandfather would actually sit down and play besides the original Pac-Man. And he has played that one on NES. He's played that one before. As slow as it got, he could sit there play for hours before he actually got tired, because that's something he was used to playing. Puzzles were a challenge to him. Mazes were a challenge to him, and it's something that kept him occupied. But I'm still glad that he was my grandfather, and I'm even more grateful that he passed with a smile on his face. Maybe he's playing Pac-Man up there where he is right now. But for all I know and for all I care, as long as I have these games, I know he'll still live on, and I know he's going to live on in my heart. So, until next time, this is Dark Valentine 1984, signing out. Peace.